All right, no problem, Charles. Thank you for inviting me. This is a brand new relationship. I know there's many more of these to come. I'm excited about bringing CG Wealth on to to National Life Group. Just a little bit about myself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm based out of Dallas. I'm in here in the home office, Addison, Texas. I've been in the industry in the profession for 13 years. I've been with National Life Group for 7.5 years. Prior to that, I was an agent in the field, like you guys are right now. But I'm kind of unique. I'm kind of a unicorn. I grew up in the industry. My dad's been in the industry for 39.5 years, so this is second nature to me. So I love what I do. Me and Charles has hit it off, and we know this relationship is going to be long lasting. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So what you're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the agent portal. Once you get your username and password, you'll have the same access to what you're looking at right now on my screen. One thing about National Life Group, of course, we're a mutual company. We've been around since 1848, so we like a 178-year-old company. 77-year-old company. We're the third oldest mutual life insurance company in the United States. One thing about us, we when it comes to technology, we're very innovative. We try to keep up. We try to make it the life for an advisor or an agent as easy as possible. Right? We allow you to keep up with your new business, your in-force business, your pending business, your outstanding requirements is right at the hand, your fingertips on your agent portal. For as marketing, we're big. So one thing I want to kind of give you guys on today, um, some stuff before I get into the presentation. We host how I met Charles was we had an organization here at National Light Group called Build. Build stands for Blacks Uplift and Leadership and Development. We host like a webinar every year, I mean every quarter. We come with different topics, and so we have a lot of great things to offer. As you can see from a marketing standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, you can sign up. It doesn't cost nothing to sign up for Build, and we do all types of recordings to teach you how to grow your business, how to keep you ahead of the curve when it comes to the profession. We go over a different concept. We show how to build systems and process within the financial service industry on these build calls, and we do host events throughout the year for build. Another thing we also big in is we're big in the 403B space, 457 space, that which is the K through 12 education market. We're big in that space, all pretty much all the 49 states but New York. So if you want to market in that space, you can. And another thing that separates us from a lot of companies is we have a great advanced market scene. Okay, which we do almost every advanced sales comes you can think of, from key man, buy sell agreement, a premium finance, split dollar, executive bonus, benefit, profit sharing plans, define 412(b)(3) cash balance plan. We do all of those different sales concepts that you can think of. And so far as marketing, if you hosting videos, or I mean you're trying to host post up on your Facebook, we have LinkedIn posts, um, Facebook posts, so we're YouTube, we're all over. So if you want to just kind of get more affiliate, more, get a better understanding of NLG, just go inside the agent portal and all your resources are there. Um, we host trainings all the time. We have a sales desk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have two sales desks, one in Mount Pelier, Vermont, and one in Dallas, Texas, where I'm located at. And they're here. We have maybe like 50 people that you can call in, and they will help you run illustrations. Or if you want to run a sales concept to see if it will work for a potential client, then they can help you. Or if you need somebody to order brochures, like marketing brochures or flyers or stuff like that, they can assist you with that information, that stuff also. When it comes to life insurance, we sell all of the fixed life insurance products. We sell term insurance, we sell whole life, we sell um, UL, we sell IUL, we sell survivorship, a second to die IUL. So we sell all of the fixed product that you can think of. But our bread and butter, and this is what attracted Charles over to me down in Atlanta this back in August, is the IUL. We are the number one insurance carrier when it comes to the index universal life policy. All right, where we sell three different types of IUL. We have an instant approval IUL where it'll get you make an instant decision right away. We have a and that instant approval is more of a protection focused IUL, whereas mostly main focus is protection, not really accumulation. Then we have a flagship product, which is called the Flex Life, which is you get both worlds, death benefit plus a strong accumulation. And then we have a high net worth IUL called the Summit Life. Okay, so we have the Flex Life, the Instant Rapid Protect, and then we have the uh, Summit Life. So we're going to go over the different illustrations on today, ladies and gentlemen. And the other thing is, I like what David just brought out. Uh, we're known for our ABRs, our accelerated benefit riders, and I'm gonna take a dive into that today. So I'm gonna go ahead and show some of the products how to illustrate NLG, because I know that's one of the important things. Is I know a lot of you guys are very experienced and have heard of NLG. So let's take a dive into the illustration software, ladies and gentlemen, to show you how we stack up amongst our competition. So give me 1 second here. So when it comes to, so if you're based out of New York, right, then the only product you're gonna, so you see on my screen right now, I'm gonna change this to Texas, right? Because I'm gonna represent the Cowboys, not them Giants. I have to throw that in Charles' face. Y'all should let the Broncos come back this past weekend. But anyway, make a long story short, I'm gonna get back to business. Charles wanted to say something so bad, but I cut him off. Um, so we have two different sectors. We have two different sides of the business. We have an independent channel and we have a career channel. Okay. Because you guys are under the independent channel, your product is going to be the LSW product. So like the Flex Life, the LSW term, those are the products that you're going to write. Anything that has LSW. That's in all the other 49 states. So you're going to do the Flex Life, the Basic Secure, the LSW term, our whole life, all the LSW products. The NL products is for our career agents, right? But y'all are independent, so LSW. Now, in New York, you can only do NL products because LSW do not solicit in New York, only NL. So when you're doing New York policies, you're going to choose the NL product. Okay. But all the other 49 states, if I did Jersey, you're going to do the LSW product, which is the Flex Life, the the Summit Life, the Basic Secure, the LSW term. So make sure you write that down. If you're doing all the other 49 states, it's LSW, but in the state of New York, you're going to do NL. So let's just go ahead and do our flagship product today, which is called the Flex Life product. And say, for an example, I have a 5-year, let's say I have a 4-year-old little boy. With our illustration, it's so easy to navigate to me because I have seen other carriers' illustration. Um, with our underwriting, when it comes to permanent life insurance policies, 18 to 50, up to $3 million, there is no exam, no paramedics. So 18 to 50, up to $3 million, there is no exam, no paramed. Okay. From 51 to 60, 1 million. So 51 years old to 60, up to 1 million, no exam, no paramedics. And then 61 to 65, 250,000. So that's on permanent life insurance. So when we say permanent, we think of IUL, whole life, UL, they go up to 3 million. So here's a flyer right here, ladies and gentlemen, that you can see on my screen. So from an underwriting standpoint, so Flex Life, so on term is 2 million, but all of our permanent policy is 3 million. And then 51 to 60 is 1 million. And then 61 to 65, 250,000. Okay. So this is a flyer that you can follow for as underwriting that can really help you. Now, so we have this 4-year-old little boy, say he's standing on tobacco, right? Because the best rate class you can get for anybody that under the age of 0 to 17 is standard, right? That's pretty standard across the industry. Say I have the mail. So if I did like something like this, say if I put in my name, Maurice Bonner, and I say his birthday is 12/21, 2000, 2001, 2000, um, 21. All right, cool. We do it by nearest age, so within 6 months. That's how we do it here at National Life Group. We do it based on nearest age. Okay. You can see that we can also do it as we can go to iGo app pipeline. We do iPipeline just like any other carrier. So if I want to say, so you see, because I put in this information, this is how you go into the iGo app. Okay. And it go right, so the illustration will be integrated into the electronic application. Once you plug in information, it turns green. You can click on that. Now, if I click on, so for once you put in client information, you're going to go to death benefit and funding, right? To the on the left hand side where my screen is at. And of course, when you think about IULs, they're meant to be overfunded, not minimum funded. You want to put as much money into the policy to where the policy is sustainable. Because we're a mutual company, one thing I'm proudly to say, and we've been selling IUL for a very long time, for the last 25 years, we have never increased the cost of insurance or fees on our in-force block of business. That's powerful because you have other carriers that have increased the fees on their invoice policies. We have never done it. Not saying we won't do it, but we have never done it in our existence. We have never increased the cost of insurance or fees on our invoice policies because we're a mutual company. We're owned by the policyholders. So now if I'm running this, the best way to do it, I like to run it if it's, if they're looking for like college funding, college planning for a parent, then I like to run it as minimum DB, maximum cash value, and say I do option B increasing. When it comes to children policies, I forgot to mention, w- no matter if the parent has coverage, no coverage, not or not that much coverage in force, we can let the child get up to $500,000 without parents having any coverage in force. So we can go up to $500,000 worth of death benefit, no matter how much coverage the parent has. That's the most the kid can get. So if the parents don't have any insurance in force, we can go up to a $500,000 in death benefit. Okay, and so now if I do monthly here, um, and then say I did option B increase and I did monthly and I changed this to specify amount and say the parent can do 150 bucks a month, right? So I did premium mode monthly and say I wanted to do this from 1 to age 65. So I can do 1 to age 65. So the A can be lowercase or it can be uppercase. It's not case sensitive. Um, so we can do that 1 through age 65. And we know college is expensive, right? No matter if you go to NYU or you go to Rutgers or St. John's or you going down to Florida, Miami, or University of Texas, tuition is expensive no matter where you at, right? So with just 150 bucks a month to cover them while they're in college, we'll say they're going to take out $5,000 a year while they're in college to pay for their room and board. So when they turn age 18 to age 21, right? We could take out $5,000 a year for college funding for they in school to cover that room and board, that car that they want to drive, to put gas in to keep up the maintenance on it. We're going to add another row, ladies and gentlemen, because we know the next after you graduate from college, right, and you go into the real world, the next big event for anybody will probably buy your first home or get married or start your business. So now we can also show at age 30 years old, right? At age 30, we're going to take out another loan for $15,000, okay? Right? To cover that, to pay for that wedding, put that down payment on a house. And then we know the next biggest concern of America right now is people are running out of money at retirement. That is a big concern for most Americans. And so what we're going to do is at age 66, we're going to take out another income for retirement. So we're going to do three different events. Um, so we got college funding, down payment, and then retirement. So I did solve for income from age 66 to maturity. So let's look at it. So you see that the death benefit is 93,000, and then you have the $150 premium monthly. Of course, we're max funding it because we're paying up to the guideline level. So 150 times 12 is $1,800. So we're not able to put any more money than more than 150 a month because we're overfunding the policy up to a limit where it does not create a modified endowment contract. And so, of course, you see that the accumulated value and the surrender value are two different. So the accumulated value, the surrender value is your piggy bank. It's just showing the accumulated value is what's been credited, but the actual money that you have access to is the surrender value. That's what your piggy bank is. Now, with IIUL, we have a 10-year surrender. That's why you see that in year 11 it breaks even. So our on all of our IUL except the instant approval, everything has a 10-year surrender. Okay, so you see that it goes up, right? So now, of course, you see that while they're in college, we're taking out 5,000 a year for those 4 years, and then while they turn 30, we took out another loan to pay for that down payment, and then we scroll down. Now, when they turn 66, retirement, we're going to pay them an $86,000 worth of retirement of tax-free income. Tax me now, tax me later, or tax me never again. Is there any questions about this particular proposal, ladies and gentlemen? Because I think this is a powerful proposal. Definitely just focus on the juvenile to child policy. This is a powerful opportunity to be able to present this to. Like I said, we can go up to $500,000 on a child policy without doing, no matter how much coverage the parent has in force. Is there any questions and concerns that y'all want to put in the chat box so I can answer for you, ladies and gentlemen?
There's a question in the chat says, can we overfund these with a PUA, the paid up
Yes,
additions?
yeah. So PUA paid up with so this PUA is for whole life. That's not IUL. PUA is only on whole life. But we can do PUA on child policy with our whole life policy. Yeah, we can overfund these with PUA on the whole life. We do have a PDA account, a premium deposit account that most people use. So we do have that also. Hopefully I was able to answer your question, Alonzo. Okay, cool. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
I don't see any questions relating to this policy.
Perfect. Now, so let's go back, right? Let's do another. So another question popped up here said, once a policy is designed, how much is the commission? So quick question, good question, David. So with us, we go based on course commission is based on target premium. So this is what your commission be based on of, plus you'll get a percentage of the excess premium. But you get paid based on the CTP, which is a commission target premium. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? All right.
There's a question in the chat. The second question, are there fixed and variable loan options?
Yes, they are. Yeah, Alonzo, we do have all types of loans. So what we're doing right now, showing this, if I go back to death benefit and funding, these are and when I took took the loans out, this is a variable loan. We take and participate and declare it. We got participating fixed, variable, and standard. We have all four different options. And one thing also we're very diverse, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have Spanish speakers on the sales desk. And so if you need something in Spanish, we have Spanish brochures also. So if you want to present something your uh, for your clients, we have that in Spanish. And if you need to talk to somebody in Spanish from like a sales here at the home office, we also can assist you with that also. So we very diverse and so we're big in that space. We very multicultural when it comes to here at NLG. All right. So any other questions there before I move on to the next presentation? I want to make sure everybody is there a sales primer for this concept I can prospect with? You talking about like a fact finder, Alonzo? Is there a sale primer, a simple brochure? Oh, simple. I think we have some type of we do have a brochure on this that talks about college planning. That's in the back office.
And there's a Zoom user said, "Can I get this video sent to me?" I wish I could send it to you, but I don't know what's your name, who's Zoom user. You could put your name in the chat because it says Zoom user, so I'm not sure who you are. But yes, you can get a copy of the recording.
Okay. All right. So let's do a little bit bigger person, right? Let's go a little bit different, right? So we did the juvenile. So let's go to a 40-year-old, right? So let's go 40-year-old male, right? And say I'm gonna keep using myself here, right? Um, all right. Let's say that birthday is 10/22. All right. So we have this 40-year-old male, standard non-tobacco. And one thing about NLG is what separates us from a lot of other carriers is we're one of few carriers that have this benefit, right? Because we look at ourselves as a retirement company. And so if say I did minimum DB, option A level, and say you have that 40-year-old guy that wants to put $1,000 a month, right? So we did minimum DB, maximum cash value, $1,000 a month to age 65. And now this is what separates us as a carrier, right? We're one of few carriers that have a lifetime income benefit rider that guarantees the income for the rest of your life tax free. It's guaranteed. And so what happens is, say if I do $1,000 a month to 65, turn on income at 66, your guaranteed income will be doing that. It's more of a 42,388. But what I like about this is because when you take money as a loan, it does reduce the death benefit. It also reduces the cash value because we're using your death benefit as collateral, right? Because you actually bought the insurance company and not your money. But we're going to guarantee that your policy will never lapse and that your death benefit would never go below 15,000 and that your cash value would never go below 1,000, and that's guaranteed. So once you turn on the lifetime income benefit rider, we're going to guarantee this 42,000 a year and for the rest of your life, no matter what. Even if your policy doesn't perform, we're going to guarantee this 42,000 a year. What I love about this is, like I said, the death benefit would never go below 15,000, and yet your cash value would never go below 1,000. And then the thing is, every 5 years we do an analysis of this policy to see how your policy performed, to making sure that you receive your policy perform very well when it comes to the interest crediting strategy. Your income could go up. So after 5 years of receiving 42,000, say in year 71, this income can go from 42,000 to 49,000, right? And then you would receive that 49,000 for the next 5 years. If your policy didn't perform very well, you'll stay at the 49,000. But if your policy did perform very well, it could go a boost up in your income. So that's what I love, because I know me and my family being married, I'm fighting against inflation, right? I'm feeling it when I'm going to the grocery store, when I'm taking my family out to eat. It's costing me a lot more money today than it was 4 years ago. And so that's one thing. But to qualify for the lifetime income benefit rider, the qualification is you must have your policy for 10 years. You must be between the age of 60 and age 85. Okay. So the rules are must have your policy in force for 10 years. You must be between the age of 60 and age 85 to turn on the rider. And prior, if you have any loans prior to turning it on, you have to pay those loans back first, and then we can start the income. So if you have any outstanding loan, you must pay the loan back and then turn on a rider. That's just the specs of that particular rider. So no outstanding loans. Now, if you have withdrawals, then that's fine. But loans, you got to pay it back prior before turning on the income rider. Like I said, this one of our income. This is to me is like tax me now, tax me later, tax me never again. If I did a survey right now and saying who you think tax rates gonna go up or go down, you're probably gonna say tax rates gonna go up. So how do you protect yourself? Through a financial instrument like this to give you tax-free retirement that Uncle Sam cannot come after. Any questions about this? I see some chat box. All right, so question to when you take them, are there multiple index we can allocate to? Is so what are they? Okay, so yeah, so one question I wanted to get to is we do have different interest crediting strategies. And so we have the S&P 500, we have the US pace setter, the balance trend. So of course the balance trend and US pace setter, those are low volatility index, whereas of course the benchmark is the S&P 500. I'm a firm believer I'm more of an S&P 500 guy right now. The cap on this is 9.25%. That's what the interest rate is for the S&P 500. So if I look here, you see that the cap on the S&P is 9.25. That's the cap focus. The par focus is 6.5. The S&P is 1%. We have an S&P 500 1% floor. Then you have the low volatility indexes that are uncapped strategies, but they don't take as much risk as your typical benchmark, right? They're meant to be more of a steady growth type of index compared to your benchmark. But I'm a firm believer you can allocate how you choose. If you want to go S&P 500 or you want to do 25, 25, 25. Me, I'm just saying, hey, let me just know exactly what I'm getting in return. So I could do 75% here, 25% in the fixed rate, right, to equal 100%. Numbers are numbers. When I sell, I'm not selling the hammer. I'm selling the whole because I'm trying to solve the solution for your client. The product is a product, right? But yeah, back to your question, Alonzo, you can allocate whoever. Another question said that at the age of 60 and over, is the underwriting guideline strict? No, not really. They're pretty standard, across the industry. If they're diabetic or they have high cholesterol, if they are if they are diabetic, we're going to look at the A1C level, what type of medication they're taking when it comes to metformin, or they're taking some type of insulin or Ozempic. So yeah, so that we do that. So I see that the long rate is 5.98%, and what's the new money rate? So Alonzo, IULs are based on portfolio rate, not new money rates. It's not like a UL or an annuity. So when we base our IUL, we do it on portfolio rates, so not new money rates. Anyway, so back to it again, ladies and gentlemen. So we're one. So now, even if I go back, right? So the lifetime income benefit rider is more of a conservative projection, right? It's not going to show you the highest because you're not taking a risk because you're taking a standard loan. A standard loan is where the insurance company charge you a loan rate and we credit that same loan rate back to you to your policy. If I wanted to show like skyrocket numbers at income for retirement, then I could show like a participating variable loan, right? And so if I did, but the participating variable loan and the soft income is not guaranteed. But if I want to just show it on this illustration, it's going to show way higher. Well, it shows more of an income of 23,691. Wait a minute, let me go back here. Uh, let me see, soft income, boom, boom. Variable. Let me see declare rate. So let me go back here to declare loan. So this is what it shows. So if you want to show a little bit, it's a little bit lower, but now because I'm not dropping, I guess because I'm not dropping the face amount down. So if I drop the face amount down, it'll be more income on the participating loans. Even if I go back here, ladies and gentlemen, right? And if I did none, for an example, and if I wanted a little, say if the client doesn't want to go with term because they've been burnt by prime American invested difference and they want nothing but a permanent, we can go a permanent, right? And so, hey, let's say it's $1 million permanent policy, and let's say they paid a target on this, and I want to take this off real quick. So if somebody want $1 million death benefit, say they're paying the target premium, which is target only thing that means, ladies and gentlemen, is what your commission is based off of. It doesn't mean nothing to the client. That's what your commission is based off of. So $1 million coverage would be $1,080, which is 12,960, right? But of course, that could be a ticket price for a lot of people, right? $1,000 a month for $1 million, and you're not even overfunding the policy. What we can do is, with National Life Group, is we can lower your, um, take care of the client by adding the thing called additional protection benefit. So I could do 500,000 face amount, 500,000 additional protection benefit, still give them that $1 million worth of permanent coverage. The thing is, because you're not getting any commission on the APB, this is non-commissionable to you. Your commission is only based on the 500,000, but you're still giving that client $1 million worth of permanent coverage. And so because I did it that way, it lowers the cost of the policy. So instead of paying $1,000, $1,000 a month, I'm only paying 826 because I'm taking care of the client and not myself, right? Because I'm a firm believer, if you take care of your client, they'll take care of you. But I'm still able to give them that $1 million worth of permanent coverage like they want it. And if I want to put more money into it, I can, because I can pay up to the guideline level, which is the 17,309. So it's a win-win for both parties. At least I'm a firm believer, get that sale, right? I'm not too concerned about, I know what the product is going to do, but I want to meet the client where they're at, because I'm a firm believer about the human value approach, right? If somebody's worth 100,000, you times that by 20, that means they need $2 million worth of permanent coverage. Because I'm a firm, I know for the three pillars of financial planning is protection, accumulation, and distribution. Protection is the foundation. So making sure somebody is protected is the most important thing. One thing I want to go here next is, say if I wanted to show the PDF, show this to a client, ladies and gentlemen, right? I want to show this PDF to they want to show it to their customers and show them all the bells and whistles they have to offer. One thing about it, NLG, you're going to see this puzzle piece everywhere we go. Okay. So Charles, get ready for it. We know life insurance pays out when you die, which is the death benefit, but our life insurance does a lot more than that. And you'll see, become ill and living too long. To live too long is, hey, people are living a lot longer, so people are scared they're going to run out of money. But a lot of people miss the fact to become ill part of uh the financial planning side. So when I think of become ill, and you see it, and I'm scrolling down on this page, ladies and gentlemen, and I know somebody talked about the ABR. So when you think about NLG, we're a strong company. We A+ when it comes to AM Best. We A+ when it comes to Standard and Poor, and we're A1 in the Moody Composite, right? We're strong across the board. But one thing I want to take a picture and capture this is, let's talk about the living benefits. These living benefits, terminal illness, the chronic illness, critical injury, and the Alzheimer's disease, are included on all of our policies, from our term to our whole life to our UL to our IUL. All these living benefits that you're seeing is included for no additional cost. You're not paying extra money for this. It's already built into the policy. So you think about this, say I have $1 million worth of death benefit, and God forbid, if I have a doctor say I have 24 months to live, we're going to pay you a lump sum of 863,000 because we're going to accelerate the full death benefit of it. Then, of course, if you take this 863,000, that does terminate your life insurance policy. If you take half of the 863, then that does, we say that takes 400,000, 400,030, right? Then we'll cut your death benefit by half. So instead of being a million, now your death benefit is a 500,000. If you only take half of the 863,000. And the most we will pay for terminal illness is 1.5 million, right? The chronic illness is kind of like your alternative to your long-term care. If you're unable to do 2 of the 6 of activity day living, like bathing, eating, transferring, continence, bathing, including cognitive impairment, as long as you're unable to do 2 of the 6, we're going to pay you this benefit, right? And then when you think about, and of course, you're going to take it as a lump sum. You're not going to take it monthly, but we show it on a monthly statement. Okay, so say if you do, say at 65, you're getting 14,000 a month, which is, if you times that, that's about 168,000, right? Say 168,000 lump sum. We're going to pay the 168,000, and every 12 months you have to renew, showing that you're unable to do 2 of the 6 to keep those payments going. Now, if you take the maximum acceleration of the 14,845, which is 168,000 a year, then your policy will only last 50 months, which is 4 years, 2 months. Okay. You think about the critical illness and critical injury, right? You know, you probably seen terminal, you've seen chronic with other carriers and critical illness, but nobody has critical injury, right? Critical illness is your cancer, your stroke, your heart attack, ALS, kidney failure, motor neuron disease. Those type of it's considered critical illness. And the lump sum that we'll pay out for critical illness is 1 million. Okay. And so the critical injury is your coma, paralysis, your severe burns, your brain traumatic injury. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, it depends on the levels. If it's minor, moderate, severe, or life threatening, the biggest payout is going to be for something that's life threatening compared to some minor. So if you're a woman and you, God forbid, you have breast cancer, you want to do your mammogram and they was able to detect it right away before it spread it, they'll and you're able to go back to work in 60 days. That's probably something minor. But something life threatening, somebody had a heart attack, they had 5 stents put in, they had to do a triple bypass, then that's probably more like something life threatening. Then that will be more of a higher payout because that's a life threatening payout. The Alzheimer's disease, this benefit here is incredible because they said the stat says when people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's or Lewy body dementia, the cost of a lifetime is about $377,000 as a lifetime when somebody has Alzheimer's. The other thing is the Alzheimer's dementia is on a rise. It shows that 12 million people by the age of 65 come 2050 will have Alzheimer's. Even my dad has it, right? And like I said, he was an agent out for, had his own Allstate agency and here in Dallas for over 20 plus years, almost 30 years, and he'd been in the game for 39. He knew about the benefits, but we're going through it because there's a cost to when you're going through these things. So these benefits, don't just look at them like, oh, they did some random number. They're very important because it fills in the puzzle piece of protection. People want to buy Mercedes Benz and buy and live their life so good, but they need the protection come first in their financial portfolio. Uh, Charles, you have any feedback on that?
No, no. I mean, I have friends that have this that the parents are baby boomers and yeah, that is that Alzheimer's is tough and they're in nursing homes or because they can't be cared for in their home anymore and it'd be great to with this policy they can tap into this policy to help pay. Nursing home in New York is like $500 a day. It's like $190,000 a year, for that type of care. So that's good that they don't have to pass away and they can actually tap into they could tap into this policy to help cover those expenses while they're still alive. I think that's great.
That's to me, it's I think a lot of time in the industry we want to talk about the sexy thing, the cash value, the retirement, but people don't understand. No one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills. They said 66% of Americans file for bankruptcy because of medical bills. Most disability are not caused by accident; they're caused by illness. And so I've seen a question popped up in the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen that can you explain the critical illness? That's one thing that separate energy from most care. Yeah, so when you think about it, right? The critical, and we have it here, right in the, let me see, let me pull it up. I'm just kind of scrolling down. I know I'm moving fast, ladies and gentlemen. I want to show y'all this real quick. It's everything that I'm explaining to you. It's in the bottom of the here. Let me scroll down. Go, scroll down. Give me 1 second here. Let me scroll down a little bit more. So what I'm explaining to you, and if you're reading with that engineer minded, everything is right here in the black and white. We're not trying to hide nothing. So when you think about critical, like I say, critical illness, aplasia, anemia, cancer, diagnosis of ALS, end-stage renal failure, heart attack, heart valve replacement, major organ transplant, motor neuron disease, stroke, sudden or cardiac arrest, it's going to cover you if you have one of these type of triggers. So this thing we separate us. We have like certain states have 17, some states have 16, some have 13, some states like have blindness is covered. So depends on your state, it varies, but most states has 13. Okay. Um, it's right there in the fingertips. Another question, isn't a rating limit factor if you have first generation connection to high time? So good questions, Ms. Velma. And so when you think about it, one person said Alzheimer's. So if you have immediate family like your father, your mother, your sibling, then it can counsel you out to get the Alzheimer rider. Okay. And if you're over the age of 60, you cannot qualify for the Alzheimer's if you're applying for it. So you got to be 60 and younger, and you cannot your intermediate family for as your parents, your brother, your siblings, they cannot have it. When you think about it, so Siobhan said you mentioned the human life approach, and you said the protection. So protection comes for the protection is the first thing because you think about it. If you run the numbers, if I don't make it home tonight and my salary is 100,000 a year, that means I need a $2 million death benefit because my kids will still need this 100,000 a year for the next 20 years. Okay. So they need that protection come first, right? They need to make sure that I'm protected based on my human value approach. Now, once I fill in my bucket of the foundation of protection, then I can start working on my accumulation phase of my life. And then of course distribution. And so Velma, appreciate this. Just wanted to point out that about that ride, that is very important. So yeah, it's very important to that you know the Alzheimer's disease that's it's there and that you have to qualify for it based on maybe family history and you cannot be over the age of 60 to get it. I think it's powerful. So like I say, man, our illustration on the PDF, of course you have to get this signed. It's there right in front of you. And everything that you have questions about is the definition is there. All right.
So you need the illustration signed prior to submission or at policy delivery?
So good question. I'm good. Any other state? No, you don't need the illustration. You can have it signed afterwards. All the 49 states. But New York, state of New York, hear me out. You must have the illustration in the application must be signed on the same day. You cannot do a policy today, submit an app in New York, and then come back 2 days later and then get the illustration signed. You're going to be knocked out. You're not be able to apply for it. Everything has to be on one accord. From the time you do that illustration, that date, it must match the application. It cannot be two separate dates. And you must go through our portal, right? You must go through the agent portal to submit business in New York. Okay, make sure when you're doing New York, make sure you got your Reg 187, Reg 160. Make sure we have your product training out the way. So make sure you have that in the contract and that we already have it on file here at National Line Group. Because I don't want you to submit a case in New York and it get kicked out. Okay. So I'm just make sure you follow that. Make sure everything when you do New York, everything has to be on one accord. Nothing could not be messed up. Now, if everything's on point when you submit it and we okay everything, and then we need to amend it later, that's fine. But the submission has to be everything has to be on one accord. Nothing cannot be missed, or we will kick it out. That's only in New York. Now, Texas, New Jersey, Connecticut, Mass, that's a different story, right? You can do it however you want to do it or whatever. But New York, especially, you have to just do it the right way.
Thank you.
All right. And then the next thing is I want to talk about is term. Okay. Well, let me go back one thing here. Let me go back here,
And
ladies and gentlemen.
Maurice, also, if we have time, can you go to that annuity portfolio quickly as well?
Yep. Yeah, cool. I got you. I'm about to knock it out. So one thing so let's just look at this, right? I'm gonna show y'all this real quick and I'm gonna jump to the next one, right? Because I know a lot of people we want to access to that cash value pretty fast, right? That's a game changer, right? Say you see that the accumulate, because I told you guys it's a 10-year surrender, right? We have a rider called the balance sheet benefit rider, which will waive the surrender charges for the first 10 years of the IUL. So when I do balance sheet, let me go back, moving too fast. Balance sheet benefit rider, it waives the surrender charges to give your client more liquidity in cash value. Okay, so if I click on quick view, ladies and gentlemen, you see that now my accumulated value and surrender value is the same because we waived the surrender charge in the policy. And so now you probably wondered, For us to do that, to give your client more cash value in the early years, then to give something, you have to give something back. Then we spread your commission over 6 years. Okay, so it's paid as earned. So that prevents you from the chargeback. But you could add that balance sheet benefit rider if you're trying to look to give your client or business owner more cash value in the policy. You can add that BSB in the early, to waive the surrender charges. Yes, we do. We do premium finance. We do a lot of it. One of the intermediaries we use is NIW, which is a Kaizen program. You can only if you make over 200, if you make over 150K on K1 or W2 or 1099 you can qualify for, and you must have show so much asset. I think like 250,000 asset, and liquid assets. So yeah, we do premium finance. We do with a lot of different subsidiaries like NIW, North Star, Pelican. It's a lot of we use. So we do stream. We do a lot of premium finance here at National Life Group. All right. So I want to show one thing, and Charles pointed this out. So let me pivot over here to the annuities. Like I say, our annuities is incredible because most with us here at National Life Group, we don't have to have a large lump sum of money, right? Say if I'm in Texas, right? And this is available in all 49 states but New York, okay? And so we have products like flexible premium annuities, right? Say I want to set up as a Roth IRA account, and say I'm 40 years old, male, and we could do this for kids too. Annuities, you don't have to go through any underwriting, right? So we could do this for children policy like UGMAs and UPMAs, or even set it up for them, right, as a non-qualified. So say I have a 40-year-old male, and we want to get one of our annuities started, start off with $100 a month, right? Monthly to get it started. You see the cap on the S&P 500 is 100%, is 9% cap. So you can get up to the 9% cap. Zero is your hero. Don't lose money based on the market. And this product is a 9-year surrender. But like I said, money grows based. You have the option to increase the premium. Um, so if you have somebody that does, have $3,000 of the lump sum, they still have to at least make that contribution of $100 to keep it going. Once they hit $5,000 in accumulation, then they can stop. But I wouldn't recommend them stop. But if they want to say, hey, I don't want to put any more monthly contribution, I might want to just put it annual or semi-annual or just stop it from here. You can do that, but you must have $5,000 in your accumulation to make that happen. But like I say, this can be done in all types of fashions, ladies and gentlemen, right? You can set up traditional RAs, Roth RAs, 403Bs, 457. We can do it with the 403B now for the churches. We also can do it for small business like Something Simple, solo 401Ks, profit sharing. A defined benefit plan. We can use this annuity for all types of uses. Um, this is probably the one I'm looking at right now, the Flex Secure Growth, which is flexible premium. This is probably our number one seller. This one does not have any fees, Charles. We don't charge you nothing at all. This is strictly accumulation. So, right. So you're not paying any charges. You're just accumulating based on whatever the index is. Whatever dollar amount you put in, it grows based on whatever the index is. There's a lot. Like I say, if you're in Connecticut, New Jersey, um, Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, wherever you're located at, we can set these things up. And if you want to get into the 403B space in the teacher market, we can help you get in. Or if you want to be able to present this to a small business owner with a SEP or a simple, we can do that also with this policy, with these type of annuities. So this is a game changer, and you do not need your security license to set these up. As long as you have your life and health license and you do your annuity best interest training, then you're good to go. And make sure you do the product training on our back office also. But like I said, this is a game changer for a lot of people. Just because some people might not qualify for life insurance, right? Maybe they get denied because of medical issues. They can still apply for one of these and get accepted, as long as they can prove their suitability. But our suitability is very liquid, long as someone have a job, because you're not taking all that life savings to put into this. it's easy to get through suitability with one of these type of policies. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? I see some stuff. So what commissions on these based on what you design? I mean, it depends on where you at. It could be, 5, 6%, whatever you're at. I don't know what your commission schedule is. A lot of times people take trail, right? You can take trail on these, or you can take standard, or you can still get your renewals, whatever the case may be. You can use this for whatever. You can build up your residuals with this type of product because you're doing flexible premium over time. So hopefully I was able to answer your question there, David. We do not have a variable product. We only sell on the National Life side, unless you're part of the ESI, which is our broker dealer, then they sell variable. But on this side, we only sell the fixed products from term to whole life to IUL to UL to FIAs and MIGAs.
Is that flexible index annuity available in New York?
No, sir. We do have a flexible premium fixed annuity, but not index annuity. I wish.
It's a good interest rate on that one.
It's about 3.5%.
And can you show us quickly with how to access the training? I think you went through that. Yeah, New York City can't have anything. And that's what I was going to unmute myself early. And I'm like, and then the Giants and Jets are 2-12 overall combined for the season. Awful. Oh my gosh. You got to mind this. They're drilling in my office right above my head. So I'm going to go on mute. But if you could show us where the training, how to get
Gotcha.
to it again, or the marketing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show two things. I know we got 3 minutes. I want to make sure I give everybody their time back. Hopefully this was y'all really enjoyed this. Uh, David puts a question, said, why do insurance company hate on New York so much? Man, it's y'all state, man. It's y'all insurance commissioner. Everything y'all do when it comes to financial, man, it's just y'all get a hard, y'all just get a y'all man, y'all state just it's tough.
That's why the
Um,
election are so important, and we have an upcoming election that this mayor race is so important. So, people have to come out and vote, honestly,
yeah, so
because
here's
these
so
guys they go and they make these laws, and we don't know where it come from and how to unravel it.
yeah. So when I look at trainings, right? So if I go to training, click on product training, right? Click on annuities, right? And you basically click on this. You read through this. It's real simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's real simple. Go through all the different products we sell or have sold in the past. And basically, once you do that, you check this box and you hit submit.
So there's no test or anything. Just
That's it.
okay.
It ain't let me do it. It's on demo site. So yeah. So you check that box and hit submit, and that's it. It didn't let me check. But yeah, it's supposed to, there you go. I think it's supposed to check this box and then you hit submit. But you could do it through the Share LC also. Um, but yeah, this is we also sell single premium. And I want to show one other thing too, because I know we got 4 minutes. Order and market brochures to learn a little bit more about NLG. You can click on this lighting bulb, click on order forms and material search. Like say if I want to talk about Flex Life, right? You can get all your New York, you say this, so it tells you which ones you can do based on the state. Um, they're all right here, right? If I want to talk about living benefits, so you can order these just like you on Amazon, right? Everybody have access to. You can order up to 50 um per brochure. So if you want to order this, it's in different languages, Spanish, Vietnamese, Chinese, whatever you want to present, you can. It's right here for you, right in the tip of your hands, fingertips. Yeah, so a question popped up. It says, does NLG offer bonuses to client on their single premium? Yes, we do. Um, we have a product that's called the Growth Driver 10. It gives you a 10% bonus up front. And even our flexible premium product, we have a bonus flexible premium product. So if you make, It's on an annual contribution. So if I put in $500 a month, 6,000 a year, you can get a 5% bonus on 6,000. So that's 300. So if I put in 10,000 in 1 year on one of our products to have a bonus, we'll give you a 5% bonus on 10,000. So that's $500 plus whatever the index does. Another question is this a product that federal employees can roll it up for? Yes, you can. You can roll up to any one of our products, right? Single premium and flexible premium. We need more companies paying $2 billion in lobbying like Prime America does. You funny, Lonzo. And do you have any health products like DI or LTC? No, we do not sell any standalone long-term care or disability policy. Everything is built into the insurance policies. Our term is convertible, right? We can convert our terms to any permanent policy. We have a strong whole life because we are a participating um, dividend company. See, McCree said, what is the program that allows you to go into school? That's considered, um, we have a whole department. So let me go back here. Let me see. So you can go right here to 43B certified. And basically you can pick a day if you want to register to go into these trainings, to go to that, to understand how to get into the school system. We do trainings all the time. You can click on the next register right there. um, it's very informative. Like I know a lot about the 403B and 457 to get your feet wet, but we also have another department called the Retirement Services team that really, really go deep and wide, and they're the one that hosts the trainings on that, and they can try to get your foot in the door. If it could be a private school, charter school, or a public school, there to help you to get into that school to be able to, to be able to educate those teachers on their teacher retirement and offer the 403B to them. And to me, it's a game changer because once you get your foot in the door, you can cross sell and sell life insurance, right? Once you got them payroll deducted from their paycheck to get $300 a month into their 403B, there's an opportunity to be able to cross sell and sell life insurance while you're there. Okay. Yeah, so we do give our rewards. We do give out awards called the Life Changer Year Award, and we also do good heroes. If you want to nominate, and this can be for any state, not just the 49 state, it could be, on y'all own island of New York. So we have like do good heroes um, that we give an award for our first responders, right? It's a program that it teach you how to nominate it, like your firefighters, your police department. We can nominate that to get them some type of incentive. To say, $500 a month. We nominate like 12 people, so it could be like your fire rescue, your police officer, your EMS, your sheriff office, somebody that's making changes in the community, that's making impact in the community. We want to benefit them, and you can nominate them as a reward to a nonprofit, whatever, how they want to give out the money. So we do those programs because we're very big in the community. We understand that middle America is underserved. Like I said, we don't sell no final expense product. We only sell middle market, middle America, so affluent market products. And we do this same thing for teachers. It's called Life Changer Year, Life Changer. So we're big in the community. Last thing, Charles, I know you're ready to go. I'm gonna do this servant here. Even with this being said, we'll do this here. Servant leadership. We can also tackle the church market. So if you have any minister or connection to the church, we can offer some type of retirement account to them also. But anyway,
Hey Maurice, just if you could squeeze one more question, and I'm just looking through the chat, and there was a question early that we missed about contracting. So you have to be contracted. Can you go through that process a little? And we may have some people that have NLG and but might want to transfer. But how does that whole system work?
good question. So Charles, so if you are appointed with another IMO, another agency, or whatever the case may be, and you have production, you must sit out 6 months. You got to go 6 months with no production to be able to transfer over to CG Wealth. Okay. Now, if you don't have no production on the books, you can move over. But if you did submit a case with National Life Group, then you got to wait 6 months from the time you submitted that case to come over to a new agency. That's just our rule.
Somebody put any exceptions?
Yeah, so Keisha, so it's so it depends on your existing agency. If they sign off on it, then we accept it, but they have to sign off. But a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, they don't sign off. So, but if you get them to sign off on it, then they say, hey, yeah, we'll allow you to transfer it over. You can.
With 6 months and with 6 months, they have to no business in 6 months to be able without the sign off, correct?
Correct. That's right.
Okay. So Alonzo have a commission question. We could talk offline with the regarding the commission. And Maurice, I definitely want to thank you for coming. This was definitely eye opening. Everybody, if you want to give him some emojis, please give him some emojis. The reactions in the bottom. That was a awesome job, and we definitely want to have you back on again. Um, and with the underwriting as well, because I didn't really get this. I still have questions on there with the underwriting, but we could talk more offline. All right. So
Okay, that's
everyone
cool.
that's on the call, I'll send the recording out to you. And Alonzo, we could talk offline regarding the commissions and the contracting, and we'll get going. All right. And if you
Uh,
could send me though that what you have up there regarding the servant market and the 403Bs, because I have some clients that can use that right away. All right, everyone. With that
yeah.
said, Maurice, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right, no problem.
All right, have a good one.
Bye bye.